Main part of that is our capital projects financing. 3 million for the water plant, that we didn't, that's more of a timing thing. We budgeted for last year, and it's really this year that we were receiving the money. The 1.2 million for the street resurfacing and the refinance of the sewer, I'm sorry, not sewer, frit note. Also, we did receive 131,000 as a balance due from the state for our flood damages from a couple of years ago. And we decreased our revenues by 300,000 for assessments on the drainage district that won't be paid till next year. So that's the revenues. The expenditures, the total expenditure budget amendment is $4,178,535. That breaks down into the different categories. The first one is public safety. The public safety budget will be increased by $43,900. That's mostly due to just increased costs in the police and fire department. Also, there was a lightning strike on our siren that was $16,000 or $13,000 to repair. So that's a big chunk of that. It's a 6% increase over the original budget. The Public Works Department budget will be increased by $47,300. That's mainly due to the 7th and 8th Avenue South projects, the costs incurred with that, those projects down there.
Gloria, the public works, that maintainer purchase, is that, that was?
It's just a little over what we budgeted for. Yeah,
Okay.
the 17,500.
Okay.
Culture and recreation the budget will be increased by 15% at $155,300. Mostly pool repairs, as you can see on that list there. That's the big chunk. There was a little bit of change in the library wages, mostly just due to staff changes. When Nikki retired, then we moved some staff around, and so the hourly and salaried categories changed. That's about it. Also, you'll see in all the areas, work comp charges are much higher this year, and we're hoping to get those down for next year. Community and economic development, the FRIT refinance was the big chunk of that. The budget is increasing by 56%, but it's $660,000 for that FRIT refinance. So that's a revenue and an expense together, so they balance each other out. We're not actually spending more money. The total for community and economic development is $712,335. General government, that's administration, things like that. That's increasing by 26%, $84,500, mostly due to that second work comp bill that we got. We paid the bill from Continental Western. Then we got that money back. We were refunded that, and then we paid IMWCA for work comp. So that's also an in and an out. It looks like a big expense, but really there was a revenue to balance it. But we need to amend the budget to cover that. In capital projects, that's our big jump on the budget expenditures. That's increasing 80.5%, $3,002,500, mainly due to the timing on the water plant renovation. That was budgeted for last year, and the actual repairs project was mostly completed this year. Also, the downtown landscaping, the business park, Sumner Avenue Hill, and the Sumner Avenue Bridge, none of those expenses were budgeted for last year. So that's the other increases for capital projects, and those are all funded by the financing proceeds in the revenue side. And business type activities, that's water, sewer, and garbage. That budget increases by $132,700. It's a 5% increase, mainly again for the 7th and 8th Avenue South project expenses. Those are the big chunks of that. So that is the total revenues and expenditures.
It's one of the, as we're talking about the budget amendment, one of the good pieces of news, as we're going through all this amendment, it appears as though things are pretty on track for what we projected as far as variances in a lot of the accounts. Obviously, you got a lot of shuffling around of money, but the general fund right now is 66,000 to the good, which is pretty on pace with what we were hoping to see at this point. Some more money's still gonna come in. Obviously, more money can still go out, but that's including the general reserve fund that has money in it and some other funds. So it appears as though things are gonna look pretty good for what we were projecting to S&P and all of those things. So looks like the budget is gonna hold out for what we projected. A lot of changes included in here, but the end result will be positive for S&P.
And it is a net increase of $600,000 of revenues over expenditures, so that's good.
That's good.
More money is coming in than going out.
And that's for our budget year ending this June 30th, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So that's the estimate we have.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call vote.
Slater?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
Davis?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye. Next, we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-51. A resolution approving minus requisition number 28 for construction costs, inspection, and technical services, and authorizing payment in the amount of $54,761.13 for the CDBG Housing Rehabilitation Program.
These are the homes that complete the last grant cycle. Obviously, you can see this is the meat of the project with being 54,000. We were waiting until very recently to hear back from HUD about the most recent cycle of CDBG housing rehabilitation grants, but we unfortunately found out that we did not receive it.
To my mailbox today, so.
Yeah, exactly. So we were waiting up until this morning, but, so that, I guess, then, one of the things that can be considered is whether the city council wants to hold off on doing anything with those funds, or whether you wanna move forward in a scaled back manner to do something with the LMI funds that we have, to do a rehabilitation program in the interim. But just something to think about. You've got, it'll be increasing again this year. And the LMI set aside does have 30, it's probably less, 179, is it down to 179?
I thought it was over 200.
Yeah, 179 we did.
Oh, that's right, it was up to, okay, so it'll keep coming in this year and next year, but we got there's 179 in it right now, but we are pulling everything out of that residential district as far as tax increment financing, which means 38 cents on every dollar has to go be set aside to the LMI project, so there is a decent amount of funding in there if you wanted to do, 2 homes a year or something like that, if you're interested. Because it is a really good program.
Is this the same project that the representative from Midas was gonna write a grant for, and then we were going to do, they were gonna do 11 homes, and we were gonna do 2, or they were gonna do 9, and we were gonna do 2?
Yeah, it was
something
10
like-
and 2, it was just like the last grant, so that's what, that's actually what we're closing out right here, is that CDBG housing rehabilitation grant. So now, that's completely closed the previous grant cycle, and we did not succeed in the current grant cycle.
Okay.
So now it's just a matter of whether you want to use LMI funds from the city without a grant match, or whether you wait until the next funding cycle to reapply for more CDBG funds. That'll be another year from today.
Because we had a tremendous response,
There is a lot of
interest in that, like, what, 111, interest that where people needed help with something to do that.
It is a really good program. I mean, it's as far as being able to improve the existing area of town and get some of those homes that are probably the individuals don't really have the means to give them the improvement that they might necessarily need. And it runs the gamut as far as that population on who that is, from the age groups to where they are at in town. You get some that are on the far south side, some up on Terrace, all over the place. So
Then we get a person that really, really needs it, we can't help them at all.
that's it. Yeah. I mean, there was a timing
We
situation.
had an application
Yeah.
that we weren't able to do anything on.
Yeah, the application takes long.
Of all of them in town, that probably wouldn't have been my number one choice. You know, and then, you know, with the monies, you know, we could always, if we don't do it, it might work toward a bigger project or something for us if we use that money toward something, you know, rehabilitation or something anyway too, if we don't do something right away with it, so.
Yeah, just something to keep in mind. As you look at those funds. So,
Okay. We need a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Scholl,
Aye.
Rusher,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater.
Aye.
Then we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-52. A resolution approving pay estimate number 22 from Industrial Process Technology Incorporated, Fargo, North Dakota, in the amount of $39,957.08 for the 2012 Humboldt Water Treatment Plant Improvement Project. They're getting small.
They keep getting smaller. Fortunately, they keep coming. The well side of the plant has been operated, and IPT is now working to work out the minor kinks in the system. The controls are still getting installed, but the well side is operational by hand, and until the controls are completely finalized. Obviously, very, very important considering the demand is starting to pick up. Summer's coming. It needs to get filled. DNR wants to fine us. There's a lot of different.
Wouldn't have to fill
Yeah.
it. We could save money.
So there's a lot of reasons that we need this project to wrap up sometime here. But we did get a response from the DNR. Interestingly enough, while the director said he believed that spending money on fines was the right way to go, they still want a $2,000 fine.
No.
So, but
It's less fun.
so, anyway, the $2,000 fine would go towards a supplemental environmental project, a SEP project, which I
They
guess
want a donation.
the project goes to Humboldt County, actually, is what it does. Is it goes to Humboldt County Conservation Board, and it can be directed towards a specific project. So one of the things that came to my mind was, you know, what about like a trumpeter swan habitat or something along those lines? Something that, you know, is going to be more beneficial than, you know, I'm going to go plant some trees or whatever. You know, something that that's kind of always
Something
been.
that people admire and look at.
Yeah, that's always been a frustration, is that we don't really have a place for trumpeter swans to be introduced. Obviously, you wouldn't take the same ones from Humboldt and put them over there because they just go back to the original Humboldt. But, you know, ones that are coming out of, you know, let's say Spencer or that area, they could be located there and then flipped around so that we'd start to produce a population here in Humboldt. But that's something I thought of. I mean,
About
I don't
seagull
know.
habitat.
Exactly.
Yeah, but so we're not, we gave them a deadline of May 31st or something, and if they're not done by then we're gonna face possible additional
Yes,
fines
so
on top
they-
of that, or?
No, so what they did is they revised the consent order, and I'll send this out to you. I just, honestly,
As long as we're on the well side, it helped, because
Yeah.
that was,
So they-
running it by hand is what kind of got us out of most trouble anyway.
so they agreed to our terminology of completion, which is meeting the surface water transportation, or surface water requirements through the DNR. And both sides running, and essentially leaving out all the grading and, you know, work that's on the outside, even though it's part of the permit, it's not really part of the water permit. And so they agreed with that definition and the May 31st timeframe. But they still did have the $2,000 fine in there. You know, it's going to a SEP project, which, you know, the city can kind of steer in a certain direction and do something specifically with it by going through the county. But it is still fine. So even though it's not going to DNR, it's still fine.
But right now, we're pretty confident that we can make the,
Oh, yeah.
The
I mean,
deadline
where
is
we're at right
first.
now, I would be shocked if we didn't
Okay.
see.
Move to approve. Second.
And then everyone shocked before. Roll call vote.
Rusher,
Aye.
Davis,
Yeah.
Goodell,
Aye.
Slater?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
And we need a motion to approve following proposed resolution number 2014-53. A resolution approving pay estimate number 1 from Gopperson Smith Construction Company of Ida Grove, Iowa, in the amount of $29,924.50 for the Sumner Avenue Bridge Replacement Project, which is going well.
Yeah, Goverson Smith is doing a really good job. They're moving as fast as they can. They have they've been working some long hours. I don't think they were here on the weekend, but they have been working pretty long hours trying to get it completed. The project manager that I spoke with during the bid, his comment was, I'm not confident that we're going to make May 15th, but we'll do everything we can to get there. But there's a lot of work to be completed. Pray that we don't have high water or anything along those lines, but it is moving pretty well. They are getting a lot done, so hopefully we can make that May 15th deadline and not have the bridge closed for an extra 4 or 5 months due to being slowed down by winter and the peak of Shiner.
Any idea on how the bridge is being built? Are they going to just work on the west side as they've got rivers up on the east side? Will they just start on pier work and stuff on that side and then work across? Do you have any idea how they're, okay.
I'm not sure what the actual, I've got it.
Okay.
I know that there's certain steps, but as far as which side they're gonna be on first.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Davis?
Aye.
Goodell?
Aye.
Slater?
Aye.
Scholl?
Aye.
Rusher?
Aye.
This one I didn't understand, but we need a motion to approve the following proposed resolution number 2014-54. A resolution approving pay estimate number 10 from Chicago Bridge and Iron, Plainfield, Illinois, amount of $65,119.76 for the 2012 500,000 gallon elevated storage tank water tower project. Is that the retainage or what it is that retainage?
Where's the payas?
It's been such a long time now, I assume that was,
Oh, no, that's still very alive.
Okay.
We still have controls up next to Dan's house. We still have controls that have to be put in the south tower.
but was
And
that,
those-
but that was part of Chicago Bridge and Iron's project?
Yes. So they had the controls, the replacement of the existing controls and work in that, in the base of the tower was part of their project. And then,
Are they still in business?
yes.
Okay.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.